Uh, Somebody says that there is an audio disturbance. Um, Others, anybody have audio disturbance? Please let me know.
It is
No,
clear,
it's
sir, for
clear.
me.
It's clear.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Yeah, and then we'll go into the course content. I'll go explain what we are going to cover in this course on various topics, and then we'll wind up for today. Right. Okay, fine. So I believe most of you have joined are either already doing experience in functional testing or automation testing or performance testing, or maybe new to software itself, or maybe a very beginner to the security testing. Right. I believe majority of you fall under these category. Right. So which means most of you might aware of this, but still for others I'll just still go and spend a couple of minutes explaining you from a testing perspective. There are two broader areas, right? One is functional and another is your non-functional. Functional testing, it is more about, as you all know, making sure that whether the application is working as per the your requirement. It is as simple as that. You have 10 requirements. Whether the 10 requirements are after development, we are going to validate whether the 10 requirements are met or not. Right? That's all about your functional testing, validating your functionality against the requirements. And within functional testing, though you have multiple things like your integration testing or unit testing, system testing, acceptance testing, end of the day, at various aspect, at various level, you'll still be validating your functionality or your requirement, whether it is met or not. It can be at a very unit level, at a code level, or it can be at a module level, or it can be at a UI level, or it can be an integrated level, whatever it is. But the objective is to check whether the functionality is working or not against the your requirement. Right. um, when it comes to non-functional, as name says, it is non-functional. Apart from functional, functional is a mandatory one, right? Because that is why the developers are developing the application, and the testing team is going to validate the whether the functionality is working or not. Anything apart from this is non-functional, right? Whether your application is fast, whether it is available, whether it is in a usable state, whether these security standards are met, whether it is compatible with various browsers, whether it is available for differently able person. So all these things are comes under non-functional testing. Though earlier we used to say that it is not a mandatory aspect. Nowadays lot of compliances, lot of government regulations are there, which means even these non-functional testings are mandatory ones. We can nobody can go and skip the non-functional testing, saying that it is an optional one, right? Even though you are budget constraint or not, that's a different aspect, because it is not good to have. Nowadays it is more a regulatory compliance as well, right? So all these performance testing, security testing, usability testing, compatibility testing, all these things fall under non-functional testing, right? uh, Guys, hope my audio is clear and you don't have a problem, right? If anybody have a problem, please put a message or voice it out. I'll also probably check my chat now and then, so that I don't uh, keep talking. If you have any problem, just let me know, guys. Okay, fine. So under this non-functional testing, um, yeah, thanks for the confirmation, Jake. Under the non-functional testing, you have a very bigger piece. Yes, performance testing is a very critical area, and equally or even more critical is your security testing, because say for example your application is slow, it is responding maybe 8 seconds, 9 seconds. Yes, it's a very bad poor experience. Your user might not be willing to stay in your app, they might move out, you might lose business, but still you can go and correct it. But from a security perspective, if there are breaches, if there are any attacks, once you expose your sensitive data, it is not only loss of business, you're going to answerable to lot of regulations, lot of government policies, right? So security is even more, I would say, number one when it comes to non-functional testing. Security is going to be at the top, even more critical than your performance, right? Fine. So quick summary: in functional, we are going to look for verifying the functionality, identifying the bugs, validating whether the user requirements are met or not. That is what, in general, we look into it from a functional perspective. From a performance, it is going to be speed, responsiveness, scalability, availability, and then identifying your bottlenecks, right? Performance bottlenecks. From a security, it is more about identifying security risk, identifying the vulnerabilities in your application, ensuring your data is protected, data that is stored, data that is getting transmitted. When you send data, when you enter login password, when you're transferring the data from your browser to your backend, while the data is transmitted, whether it is protected, secured, and also when it is getting stored in your file system or in a database, whether it is safe, right? Ensuring that is again going to be part of your security testing. And then preventing the outages and attacks, right? Somebody is going to keep eating your application, right? There are a lot of bots which goes and it's your site to bring down the servers instead of the actual users. There are going to be your hackers or other people who might be running some bots to bring down your servers. So making sure your there's no bot attacks or prevent outages, that is also one of the objective of your security testing. Okay, fine. So let me do one thing. Let me go and open a site. I was mentioning about you in the beginning, right? Let me give you some examples of um, how you as a functional tester, right, um, can, while you do a functional testing, what are a few basic things that you can uncover without even knowing a lot of things about security testing concepts, WAPs top 10, all these algorithms or all these techniques. Without that, right? Even while you navigate through your web pages, while you do manual testing, you can still uncover a lot of early security vulnerabilities, right? So when it comes to, so let me take a sample site that is available in the internet. From a functional testing, as I said, what you do, I go to my, I select a product, say I select this bag, and expected output is, it should give me the product page, right? It should give me the description, the price, and add to cart button should be something they might know,